It started with a knock, just a simple, hesitant tap against the bathroom door, but it might as well have been a thunderclap to my ears. I froze, hand poised over the sink, staring at my own reflection. My breath caught as if the knock had reached inside me and stolen the air from my lungs. "Mom?" His voice was soft but questioning, filled with a mixture of innocence and unease. I knew it would happen eventually, but nothing prepares you for the moment you realize your son has questions you aren't ready to answer, questions about life, about choices, about everything you thought you had under control. My heart pounded as I unlocked the door, wondering if this would be the moment that shattered everything. When I opened it, he stood there, shifting his weight from foot to foot. He was holding something, a piece of paper crumpled in his hand. It was a letter, though I didn't know it yet. I was too distracted by the way he wouldn't meet my eyes, by the nervous way he clenched his jaw. "Can I talk to you?" he asked. There was no turning back now. I nodded and let him in, closing the door behind us. The walls seemed to close in as he stood there fidgeting, his eyes darting around the small space as though searching for answers on the tiles. "What is it?" I asked, keeping my tone steady, though inside I was anything but. He handed me the paper. I unfolded it carefully, my hands trembling. The words on the page blurred at first, but then they came into focus, words I'd written long ago, never meant to be seen by anyone else. A confession, raw and unfiltered, pouring out everything I had hidden for years. "Where did you find this?" I asked, my voice sharp, almost accusing. "In the attic," he said. "I wasn't trying to, I wanted to know more about Dad. About us." The room spun. I reached out to steady myself against the sink. Of all the things he could have stumbled upon, why this? Why now? "Why did you write this?" he asked, his voice cracking. "Is it true?" I couldn't lie to him. Not now. Not after he'd read my words. "Yes," I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. "It's true." He stepped back as if my admission had physically pushed him. The betrayal in his eyes was like a knife to my chest. "How could you?" The question hung in the air, heavy and suffocating. How could I explain to him that life isn't black and white? That sometimes, even when you love someone, you make mistakes that haunt you every single day? "I was young," I began, searching for the right words. "I didn't know what I was doing. Your father and I were going through a rough patch, and I made a choice. A terrible choice." His jaw tightened. "Does he know?" I hesitated. "No, he doesn't. And I hoped he never would." He turned away from me, running a hand through his hair. I could see the conflict in his posture, the way his shoulders tensed. He was battling with emotions too big for him to handle, and I hated myself for being the cause of it. "I love your father," I said, stepping closer to him. "I always have, but sometimes love isn't enough to keep you from making mistakes. It doesn't mean I don't regret it every single day." "You should tell him," he said, his voice low but firm. "He deserves to know." "And destroy our family?" I asked, desperation creeping into my voice. "I've spent years trying to make up for what I did. Telling him now won't fix anything. It will only hurt him more." "So you're just going to keep lying?" he shot back, turning to face me. "Is that the kind of person you want me to see you as?" His words cut deep, but they were the truth. I had spent so long trying to bury my past that I'd forgotten how easily it could resurface. And now, here it was, staring me in the face in the form of my son. I didn't know what to say. I reached out to him, but he pulled away. "I need time," he said, his voice trembling. I can't look at you right now." And with that, he left, leaving me alone in the bathroom with my regrets. I sank to the floor, clutching the letter to my chest, tears streaming down my face. The walls seemed to close in again, and I realized that the hardest part wasn't over. It was just beginning.